For the last 9 months, one of the biggest stories in United States media has been that the Trump administration has colluded with the Russians to steal the US election. There hasn't been a scrap of evidence produced so far that any of that's true. And the topic has become so partisan that it's really hard to get clarity on what's really happening. Republicans are claiming this is a complete nonsense story. Democrats are trying to claim that President Trump is like a Russian stooge of the KGB. To get some clarity, you have to look at history. It's undeniable that the Russians, for most of the past 100 years, have sought to undermine the United States. From the 1930s till 1991, they funded the Communist Party USA, and more recently, there's been evidence produced by the Environmental Policy Alliance that the Russians have been funding anti-fracking groups within the United States. The main threat to the Putin government is that the United States will become a net energy exporter, sending natural gas to nations like Poland and Eastern Europe that will break them free from Russia's orbit. The Russians can't let this happen. Many security experts, including the former Secretary General of NATO, have warned that Russia has been financing environmental groups throughout Eastern Europe and the United States, and also employing a strategy called disaggregation, where you look for social divides within nations, use propaganda to inflame them, in order to divide and conquer. This is likely what happened when the Russians hacked the Democratic National Convention last year. By hacking this convention and leaking information on some of the underhanded techniques the Clinton campaign used against Bernie Sanders, they could have possibly tipped the election to President Trump due to Bernie Sanders voters not voting, but there's no way they would have known that would have happened. The main thing, whether Donald Trump won or whether Hillary Clinton won, was to sow division within America, to keep parties pitted against each other, and environmental groups pitted against industry, to keep American against American, so that the nation can't emerge united enough to threaten Russian dominance in Eastern Europe. It's been a long-standing forecast of thetrumpet.com that superpowers like America don't fall due to external threats. They fall due to internal divisions. And if America stands on the threat of collapse, it's going to be the division between Americans that is the greatest threat facing us today.